my dad was a land surveyor, and so probably about 8 years old, I started working for him and working full-time summers, and he picked me up after school on some days, and I would be the rodman holding the rod, and often held the dumb end of the tape, as he would say, and take this, and he had the smart end. And I finally got promoted to chief transit setter-upper, where I would get to set the transit up and level it and get everything all set up while he was in the truck doing the calculations for what we were going to be doing. And so I grew up in that industry and really enjoyed it, just absolutely loved it. And I thought I was going to be a surveyor. My dad did own his own survey industry, or company, I should say. And I probably when I was about 14, I was like talking about, okay, what are we going to do when I get old enough to get in here? And he said, well, you tell you what, you go to school and get your engineering degree, and then we'll talk about you taking over the business. He's like, you need to do more than that. And he had missed the opportunity to get his degree in engineering, and so he wanted to make sure I had that opportunity. And so probably about 14 or so, and so it's like engineering, okay, civil engineering. All right, what do they do? Well, they design buildings and bridges and dams and, as I say sometimes, targets. So we build the targets. And so I went to Rolla, ended up going to Rolla, University of Missouri, Rolla, UMR. Now it's called Missouri S&T, Science and Technology, but we still call it Rolla. Which, by the way, is where my son's going to school right now, so
awesome.
He's following my footsteps on that. And so really liked civil engineering, got into the structural side of it, really enjoyed the structures part of it. And came time to getting ready for graduation, I started doing all the campus interviews with any company I could get an interview with. And I thought I was going to be designing buildings and bridges and maybe a dam or two. And I even had one very interesting lead. I shouldn't say I got the job offer, but it was an interesting lead to design sports stadiums. And I was kind of like, oh, man, okay, I love football, I love baseball, and I could design a sports stadium. So it was very interesting. But then, I don't want to say my last interview, but finally Dave Kaler from Block and Beach came, and I'm sitting there telling him what I want to do, and he goes, I want somebody to design transmission lines. And I was like, I had one class in electrical engineering, and I slept through it. This is not what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be designing bridges. And anyway, I told Dave that, and Dave said, no offense to any electrical engineers out there, but Dave said, once you size the wire, everything else is civil structural. And
that's a good way of putting it.
And then Dave went on to say, it's like a bunch of suspension bridges, and you get to do everything. All disciplines are involved. And sure enough, we're talking surveying, geotechnical engineering, grading, structural design, construction management, and Dave also told me, he said, if you do this, you're going to get to do a whole bunch of them. Yep. If you design bridges, you may design 4 or 5 bridges in your life. And he goes, you do this, you're going to be doing 4 or 5 transmission lines in your first year. Mm-hmm. And that really attracted me. So when I graduated, I took that job and went to Block and Veatch, and that was in 1988, and been doing transmission line engineering ever since.